everybody, and welcome to John Talks Indian Cinema. I am your host, the Indian Cine-MANIAC, back with another 10-ish minute review. I want to welcome all you over 1,200 subscribers, fellow maniacs, to the channel. And those who are checking it out for the first time, welcome. So, before I get to the film, and this was recommended by a new subscriber at Paneet Chowsari 4489. Paneet Chowsari 4489. And the film they wanted a review on was the 1991, apparently a classic, Hum. Hum. Now, before I get to the review, I have to do my 90s Indian cinema disclaimer.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
People who
No,
are new
Will
to the
Robinson.
channel, you might
Danger.
not know this. People who have been watching these for a while know that I'm not a huge fan of 90s Indian cinema for various reasons. One, they look like 80s or 70 films, 1970s, 1980s. The sound quality is not good, and there's reasons for that too. It's the way they made the films back then. I'm just not a big fan of 90s movies. Now, please don't misunderstand me. It's not that I don't like all of them, and even the ones I don't really like have some redeeming qualities in them. And the one I always bring up is Agneepath. I really like that one. That had a different look to it than a lot of the films from the 90s. But I just want to give you that disclaimer before I get into the review, so you know where I'm coming from in my review. So, the film was directed by Mukul Anand, who directed Agneepath, which I really liked. It stars one of the classics, Big B, Amitabh Bachchan, who I have seen in I can't even tell you how many. Pink, Sholay, Agneepath, Cocky. He's great. Great. That voice. But seeing him like this in this film was really interesting. Superstar Rajni, who I did not know was in this film, a much younger version of the guy I've seen in Enthiran, Jailer, in Ra.One. Govinda, who I understand they had some problems with when they shot this. The guy wasn't showing up on time. Mimi Katkar, Shilpa Sharadkar, Danny Denzongpa, who I've seen in Baby, Enthiran, and Agneepath. Anupam Kher, who I've seen in a lot of contemporary stuff. Wednesday, MS Donnie, Baby. Never seen him quite like this. You can take that with a grain of salt. By the way, I really like him as an actor. Wasn't crazy about him in this film. Okay. It's also inspired by a Hollywood movie, 1985's Target, which starred Gene Hackman and Matt Dillon. Now, I've seen that film, and there are, some elements of it. A wife gets kidnapped, and the father, who the son thinks isn't much of a man, all of a sudden goes in, combat mode to get the wife back. There's a little bit of that in Hum, but very little. Okay, so the story is about this character named Tiger, played by Big B, who is an enforcer or a collector for the local mob. So he you got to pay me. But he's also got a little, he seems to be a good guy too. Like, he's not beating people up to get the money, at least not that they show. So his father also works for the head bad guy, played by Denzongpa. His name was Bakhtawar, and he owns the shipping. This whole thing takes place for the most part around shipping docks. That this guy owns everything on the dock. Excuse me. So there's kind of a union revolt. I guess that's the best way to say. The workers are revolting because one guy's really leading them. His name's Gonzalez, who's a good friend of Tiger. Now, the big boss says, if you don't get control of this guy, I'm going to have to. So, in fact, the entrance of Big B, the guys, all these big stars have fantastic entrances. Well, at one point, to shut Gonzalez up, they've strung him up over a vat of acid. And Bachchan's entrance is as he's about to be dropped in the acid, he flies across, grabs a rope, a chain, and holds him up. Then there's this huge fight with all the guys coming at Tiger while he's holding on with one hand. And apparently, based on the research I did, he hurt his hand pretty bad holding that chain, where he missed a couple of days of shooting because his hands were so raw. But that's his entrance. It's a great entrance, too. So then, again, through the course of this, you meet the bad guy, played by Denzongpa, who's effectively bad. You meet the cop, played by Kher, Anupam Kher, Inspector Girdar, who ends up being the actual villain of the whole thing. Now, I won't get into performances yet. I won't do that yet. So, through circumstances, and I'm not going to do a whole plot synopsis, but the bad guy's family gets burned alive. Gonzalez gets killed. Tiger's father gets killed. A cargo thing falls on or is dropped on him trying to get the son. Then, as a result of the father dying within the same scene, now that he was adopted too, by the way, his stepmother dies. Like right after that. So now he's got to take his two younger brothers. The promise, as she's dying, she makes him make a promise to take the kids away from all this sin. So he does. Now, what the bad guy, I gotta keep putting my glasses on. Denzongpa Bakhtuar thinks Tiger killed his family, burnt them alive. Now he got arrested and goes to jail. So now Tiger takes the two brothers, goes away. Time passes. They don't tell you how long. Now, the bad guy gets out of jail. Now, the cop stole the money from the bad guy, so he's got this whole other side thing going, making bad tanks for the Indian Army. Okay? So now the guy gets out of jail. He wants revenge on Tiger. So he does now. The kids are adults, played by superstar Rajni and Govinda, who's got a girlfriend, and superstar Rajni has a wife and a daughter. Joydy, I think her name was. Joydy was the daughter's name. So now the rest of the story is the revenge that the bad guy wants on Tiger, who everyone thinks is dead. You with me so far? Okay. So, and it concludes with a big battle on the dock where it started with tanks and helicopters and machine guns and Captain Attack and the bad guy with bombs all over the place. And the three brothers kicking some ass. And then the bad guy turning on the real bad guy, the cop, and all is well. That's the story. So, listen, the story was okay. I mean, it was pretty good, actually. There were things about it that kind of drove me nuts, but all in all, I'll give the story a 3. Okay? Now, the performances. First of all, Amitabh Bachchan. I've never quite seen him like this. He was funny. He had his moments of intensity, like he always does. that I recognized, right? But there were other times like he played drunk scenes and he was very funny. He did dance numbers where he was really moving, stuff you don't see in the contemporary films. And frankly, he's just so young, right? So you're looking at him so much younger. So the fight scenes, he's really good in the fight scenes, but just smiling and having fun. I haven't seen that kind of performance in an Bachchan movie. So I loved it because it was, that's when he really took off, right? I mean, not just took off because Sholay was in the 70s, but it was just fun to see him like that compared to the contemporary films that I've seen. Uh, the rest of the performers, look, my problem with a lot of Indian 90s cinema is that the performances are just too over the top for me. Like the cop, this is what surprised me, and I love Anupam Kher. I think he's great, but he was so over the top comic relief, which is fine in these films, right? Because you always have that. The problem was he literally burnt them alive, and then to to play him as comic relief, just I don't know, it just didn't work for me. That was just like, wow, you know. I didn't get that. And I know these movies have tonal shifts, and this one definitely had tonal shifts. You look at the first half hour, 45 minutes, then when they move to the farm, which is a completely different type of movie, and then the last part of it, the climax, goes back to the way it was in the first one. But I just felt the performances, and I didn't get this from Bachchan. I don't think he doesn't. It's not the same type of thing. Um, but they do tend to be just too broad, too big for me, for my taste. Because again, I've seen mostly contemporary films. Um, but I mean, he was so good in this, and I even think that now, here's the thing that really bugged me. Back to War, who I thought was actually pretty good, except he's just angry the whole film, right? Super angry the whole film. But here's what killed me about his performance. So when he goes to jail, he's in a beige leisure suit, or I don't know what you guys call it, but we call it a leisure suit, kind of a nice suit, right? Well, the last scene before he went to jail, he's jumping out of a burning house, his house, and he's a little bit on fire as he jumps out the window. Okay, in this outfit. So he's released from jail in that outfit, that burnt up outfit. Now you're going to say, well, John, that's what he wore when he went in. So that's what he wore when he went out. Okay, fine. That was his outfit for the rest of the movie. Never wore anything else but that suit, that burnt up suit. To me, that seemed a little bit silly. I'm just telling you. Okay? But having said that, because I think Bachchan, you know, even in a movie of this type that I wasn't crazy about, his performance was really good in it, and I saw him in ways I've never seen him before. So I'm actually going to give the performances a 4. Now, I think this was the last time he and Rajini worked together, but Rajini was okay. It wasn't what I've seen like in Jailer and some of the films I've seen recently with him, even Robot. He wasn't like that. He was almost in the background a little bit. Same thing with the other brother, Govinda, or whatever his name is. I shouldn't say whatever his name is. I mean, what's his name? Govinda, yeah. They were fine. They were serviceable. But, I'm going to give the performances a 4 pretty much because I thought Bachchan was great. And I also thought Danny Denzongpa, I thought was actually pretty good in this. The rest of them were okay. They were okay. Now the music. And there is a lot of music in this, and it goes on long. Now, I will say, again, because I really haven't seen Bachchan do stuff like this, But the first song, which I understand was a huge hit, is Juma, My Darling. And it's in some kind of, I don't even know what it is, like a warehouse, but they're all drinking, I think, beer or something with foam in it. You couldn't really see what it was. And that's a great song that goes on for a long time. And there's a lot of dancing, and she looks beautiful in it, Mimi Katkar. But watching Bachchan do these moves and drinking and having a good time, it was just great to see because I really haven't seen it from him. Um, so that was the first number, right? And then let's see, the second song, they're trying to cheer up Rajini's wife, who is just there. She's just doing everything for these three guys and her daughter, and there's not enough of her to go around. So they cheer her up with this family song. And the theme of this film is family, the power of the family, which is actually a great message, and the strength of the family. And they keep talking about the five fingers, that even if you cut off a couple of fingers, the other fingers are going to fight. And there's a great number where they're outside and they're walking in unison and they do this, in a line, 1, 2, 3. It's pretty cute. So that was, and did I write down the name of the song? Yeah, We Love Each Other. That's what the song is, right? Now the third song, and this blew me away. This is what I mean about these 90s films looking like the 80s and the 70s. They go into this rough bar, right? Where they're arm wrestling, right? Real guy stuff. And there's a big fight that happens within the bar. But the bar then turns into the disco. The floor lights up like Saturday Night Fever. And the song that's playing. Now, did I? Yeah, I don't even know what the name of the song was, but it was the Bat Dance by Prince. In fact, when they put the coin in the jukebox, there's a Batman button that the coin goes through. And you can keep hear Batman from the TV show, but then you can hear, Where's the Batman? Straight from Prince. So that was and it's a fight scene that's a dance number too. So that blew me away. I was like, wow, how about that? Oh, also, there's at one point the brother played by Govinda, it wears an outfit exactly like Crocodile Dundee. The hat with the shark's teeth. He's got a thing around his arm, just like it. This came out in '91. I think Crocodile Dundee came out in the '80s, so they copied that too. I thought that was pretty funny. Okay, now they do this song, the fourth song. It's at the beach with the love interest, Vijay and Anita, Shilpa Shirodkar. And they do this beautiful number that changes locations. But one of the locations is at the airport where they're dancing on the wings. Well, apparently, she fell off the wing and fractured her leg. It was like a 15-foot drop. But that was a really interesting number, too. Fifth song, and this was another one. This is Back to the Family. We Love One Another. And it was at the general's house, who's the father of Anita. And they do this whole marching thing. There's a marching band there, and the family is marching, And I thought that was pretty cute. Sixth song. Okay, this was Juma again, who finally they get back together, kind of, in the sixth song, and it's Take a Kiss. Yeah, Take a Kiss, with filmed in a real crowd. It wasn't extras. And I mean, you can see that it looks real. It doesn't look staged. But the funny thing about it was the actress, Kimmy, said that the guys were touching her inappropriately in that scene. And when you see the scene, how packed they are, you kind of get it. And then they did the song throughout the movie, and it's from what I understood was Chaka Boom, Chaka Boom. And it's how they could turn something bad into something positive. It was a cute family song. And that's the last line of the film by Joydy after she was almost blown up, after they were fired upon by machine guns. And she, are you okay, Joydy? She goes, Chaka boom, and that's how it ended. I actually, even though they were long, and I still feel the sound quality is just terrible. Everything is so high pitched, but I really like the numbers, so I'm going to give the music a 4. Um, Now overall, my overall verdict, I found it very interesting because of him. The tonal changes were tough because, like I said, the first 45 minutes was very serious. I mean, a woman and child got burned alive. And then the middle part was all humorous and kind of like a completely different film set at the farm. And then, like I said, the end of the movie with the revenge part got much more serious. So it was very schizophrenic for me, and it was long. It was long, and it felt a little bit long too. But I will give it, because of Bachchan and my interest in him as an actor, again, where he was and where he is now, I'll give it a 3. And I know this was a big hit. I know that people love this movie. I enjoyed Agneepath a lot better, and I like Sholay a lot better too. But I thought it was it was a 3. It was a solid 3. Not my cup of tea. This 90s stuff is just not. I like the more contemporary stuff. That's just the way I'm wired, so far anyway. Maybe there's one that will surprise me. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I know how loved this movie is. But again, for me, I'm a big fan of Amitabh Bachchan, and it was very worthwhile for that experience. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Am I crazy? Do I just now? I'm sure you're gonna. Oh, well, you don't understand the nuance. You don't understand the culture, and you're right. I don't. I look at it purely from an entertainment value. Am I entertained by it? Am I touched by it? And I have to tell you again, the way when he burned those people alive, the way that was treated bothered me throughout the film. I'm like, this guy, he's like this comic relief, and he did something so horrific. I couldn't get over that. I don't know. Maybe that probably makes no sense to people, but I'm just telling you what I think. Okay, so if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the notification button, hit the like button, and as always, please share. That's how we can really build the community. And that's it. So we'll talk to you soon with either a 10ish minute trailer reaction or a 10ish minute review. Maybe not one from the 90s. That might be interesting. So that's it. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.